Hello everyone and welcome to The Magic Knitter. My name is Catherine and I'm going to show you how to get started with what I think is a wonderful hobby. But before you can do anything, you're going to have to put some stitches on the needle. So today we've got some wool and some needles and we're going to check out how to cast on those stitches. Your very first stitches so that you can make something. Okay, we've got our wool, we've got our needles, we're ready to start. The first thing you want to do, you got to get one stitch onto the needle. The cast on we're looking at now is called the long tail cast on because we have big long tail of wool here and that's going to get used up as we cast on the stitches. So if you're putting on a small amount of stitches, a little bit will do. If you're putting on a lot of stitches, make sure you have enough. Okay? First thing we want to do is make a loop. So you lay the wool over itself just like that. And then pull a thread through, making a slip knot. Why is it called a slip knot? If you decided to rip, it pulls all the way out. Let's look at that again. Make a loop. Pass the thread around behind the loop and pull it through it. There you have it, your first stitch. So let's poke a needle into that stitch and pull it up. Okay? Now, here's my long tail to the left. The thread going back to the ball of wool is on the right. So I'm picking up that in my hand. Now I don't need the second needle, so we're going to leave that over there. This is called long tail cast on, sometimes called thumb method. You'll see in a lot of patterns they'll say using thumb method, cast on so many stitches. So let's do that. The thread, your long tail, hold it in 3 fingers there like that and pass your thumb under the wool to make a loop on your thumb. Okay, then we're going to knit into that loop that's on our thumb. Let it over the needle and pull it up. Now we have 2. Let's look at that again. Thumb under the wool, making a loop on my thumb. This thread is going back to my hand here. The thread underneath is coming over to the needle. Knit into that loop, let it around the needle and pull up. Now you don't want to pull up so tight that they are welded on the needle. Just pull them up till they're what I call comfortable. There needs to be no big gapy slack. They can move and they're not too tight because you're going to have to knit into them on the next row. Let's get another one on there. Now I have 4. And you can see I'm letting them sit nicely on the needle with a little bit of space in between. I'm not pulling them up like this. We don't want to do that. Okay? Just keep them comfortable. Okay, here we are. I've put up 10 stitches onto the needle. My long tail is sticking out here. And my working yarn going back to the wool, back to the ball of yarn, is here. So, to start the first row, pass this needle into your left hand and get the other one. And we're going to knit 1 row. Needle in, yarn around, needle up, stitch off. In, and you're going to go through the back of the stitch and out through the front of it. Can you see? In there and out. Yarn around, yarn up through the stitch, stitch off. Now this takes practice, so don't be put off if it doesn't work for you the first time. Keep trying, cast on those stitches, knit a few rows, and the more you do it, the easier it gets. And before you know it, you'll be like Tom Daley knitting at the Olympics. There we are, first row. Thanks very much. You've been watching The Magic Knitter.